Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Your favorite makeup artist, your favorite Gele artist, NK Chami here. So guys, we are going to learn how to tap Bridal Ace Gele, and we're using the normal paper Gele. And this Gele is not actually as long as the normal Sego Gele, because Sego Gele is measured over 60. But this is actually, I think it's actually 35 or so. This is not up to this is 36, yeah. This is just like 2 yards. I think normal gele is actually 2.5 yards per measurement, but this is 2 yards, so it's not actually as long as. I'm trying to use strong head to do this gele tutorial, but let's see if it comes out well. But I hope it will. Anyway, it came out well. So I'm trying to teach my student that this particular gele, if you are measuring, you use 60/40. Okay, you use 60/40, and for you to know how to get it out, you have 50/50 equal measurement, and then you use your hand to measure two, like you're opening your hand wide gives you like um five measurements. So you need to just add like two more of it to get 10, because you're having 60/40. So where we're going to put our head is, so the part that we brought out, that's the 10% that we brought out, that's in between the 40 and the 50, is the part we're going to use to make our pleat. Okay, so you're having 40 at the side and 50 at the other side, while using the 10 that we brought out to make our pleat. So I don't know if this is understandable. So we have, it's supposed to be like 60/40, but the part that's in between the 40 and the 50, remember we use our hand to bring out, measure out 10. That 10 is the part we're going to put at the center of the head to make our pleat. So mind you guys, we're just going to make just two pleats. Just two pleats. Okay? You're just using just two pleats. And if you are measuring, we're going to allow it to cover the ear entirely. Okay, I know some of your mates will be telling you, my ear, just tell her not to worry, tell her to chillax, that you are tying the gele. Okay, now you will not to move her ear, just cover the ear first, ensure that the gele gets down, cover the ear, and also be mindful of the face of your client. Obviously, if you are tying gele for a bride or a client, she will have makeup on, and you won't want to ruin that. Okay, so you be careful of that. Now I'm going to go to the back, and I'm going to fold the upper part, and then I'm going to um cross. Now for the crossing, mind you, if you're working, you are going to use the shorter hand on top, because this is actually the shorter hand. Remember, the shorter hand is the 40%, and the longer hand is the 50%. You understand, right? Now the longer hand will go under, the shorter hand will come on top. Now I'm crossing in the longer hand now is going under, and you can ask your client to hold while you arrange the longer hand, sorry, the shorter hand, to make your base. Okay, so the shorter hand on top, the longer hand under. Okay, so always ensure to arrange, because this circle gele is one thing that always is so slippery. Like if you put it here, it will just slip to the other part. I don't really like tying this gele, but I just have to make tutorial for you guys to see how it's being done. Okay, now with the shorter hand that we have, I'm going to start making my pleat. So you can make as many pleats as you want using that shorter hand. That's the 40% that we have. Mind you guys, I told you guys this gele is not actually as long as it should be. It has to be like, it's supposed to be like 2.5 yards, not 2 yards. But I'm going to try to create this a better age gele using that same um measurement. Let's see if it will come out, or if we get it right. Okay, so guys, I'm going to start making my pleat to get my base. Remember, we've not done our base yet. As you are crossing, pin. Pinning is actually very important when it comes to this paper gele, because it's so slippery. I'm going to pin that part down, securing it down with my pin, and then I'll go ahead to continue making my plate. So I'm pinning the first part down. I'll go ahead to pin the middle, and then can pin the end part. Okay, So just make as many pleats as you want, and then you can go ahead to pin. So I started to do a voiceover because the noise at the background was just too much. I thought it was not going to be so loud to overshadow my voice, but I can't really hear what I was saying in the video, so I had to just mute and then do a voiceover. So guys, mind you, take proper care while making your bleeds. I know it's not going to be very easy for you to pick out, but then you have to pick out as much pleat as you can. Preferably, I think I love going with 5 pleats, and also try to arrange your pleats from the back just so it will not look rough at the side. Okay, so you have enough pleats. I think I made like extra 4 pleats or extra 5 pleats, and then you're going to arrange it to the under part. So as you're arranging your pleat to the other part, you're going to pin. As you can see, it's not as long as it should have been if I had used um the longer paper gele or Sego gele. So I'm going to just pin it over at the ear. Okay, so you drag it and then you pin it down just to secure it, just to ensure that it's very, very firm. Now, this particular gele, you're going to be doing a lot of pinning because it's not as long as it should be for us to tie. Okay, so we're just going to do a lot of pinning just to secure it. So you make your pleats, arrange your pleats, ensure that they are all even, and then you go ahead to pin. Arrange your pleats, you go ahead and you pin, just so it will be secured and firm. So if you want to achieve or to get a very strong pinning, you take in your pin inside, then bring it out from the other side. Ensure that the pin goes in and comes out. If possible, let it go in again. That way, you are sure that your pinning is very, very strong. It's not very easy to pin paper gele. I'll keep saying this anytime, any day. It's actually not very easy. But if you want it to be very strong and stress you, you're sure that what you are doing is very firm. Then guys, you have to pin, let your pin go inside, come out, and if possible go in again. That way you are sure that it's very, very firm. Now for the upper part, because you're trying to start making our fan, or just our bridal ace, let me use that word. So you're going to arrange it from the back. I'm making 2 pleats from the back. As you can see, just ensure that you have just 2 pleats from the back. Arrange it properly. Let the 2 pleats be firm, visible. Okay, and then you're going to take your 2 pleats and cross it across the ear, as you can see. So I'm trying to make sure that the pleats are made covers the base that we made earlier on. Okay, now you're going to drag that 2 pleats, drag it to the end. As you are dragging, you pin it. So as you can see, I drag it to the end. I got to the ear part, and then I'm going to secure it down using the pin. Okay, so you're going to pin it down to your base, and then I will still turn the chair back to the back, and then pin it at the back. Okay, so make your 2 pleats, ensure your 2 pleats is properly still very active, and sorry, still very strong, like visible, and then you pin it also at the back, because that 2 pleats is something that will make every part of the gele to be even. Okay, so pin it at the back, so we can go ahead and start making our ace. Now, if possible, you can also pin at the center part of the head as well. If it's possible, you can do that as well. If your pinning is not very firm, you do that. So I'll pin at the other part of the ear as well, then pin at the center part of the head as well, just to ensure that the ashoke is, let's say ashoke, oh god, let's ensure that the paper gele is not moving. Okay, so you pin both side and then you pin at center. Now for the picking, because we want it to be ace, we pick little from both end and pick much from the middle. Okay, now we pick little from both end and pick much from the middle. So if you are picking your side, you pick small. Let's say I'm picking 2 inch spacing. I can pick like 5 or 6 inch spacing at the middle and pick 2 inch spacing at both sides. As you can see, I'm picking little from the end and then pick much at the middle. At this point, obviously, it will be very, very difficult to pick because it's actually very, very tight. But as you keep going further, it will loosen, like it will, you have enough space. So I can make like equal pleats at this. The very first one can be equal. Then the more I go in, the more I increase my hand at the middle. Okay, always ensure that they are climbing themselves is very, very important. Let them climb themselves because you want it to be standing. Okay, so as I'm picking little from the end, I'm picking so much from the middle, as you can see, and then I'm picking little from the end. So you can see the way it is. This other part is going up and the other side is not as high as the other part. So you go to the other end, ensure that you're arranging it from the back. You pick little, come to the middle, you pick much, and then as you're going to the other side, you reduce your hand and pick less, as you can see. So that's what we're going to keep doing until we finish, until we get to the end of the center part. So that way we have so many space at both end, but then the center part must have exhausted this the space we have at center part. Okay. So guys, please do well to press a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Like that's actually a little way of appreciating our page or our channel. Like it mean a whole lot to us, guys. Please do well to press a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. And if you have any question or anything you don't understand, please drop it at the comment section and we'll be sure to give you a reply or answer your question at the comment section. So as you can see, the center part, we are almost done with the center part, but we have so many space still left at both sides. So that was one thing, that the space that we're going to have to make our fan with. Okay, I'm going to start dragging the other end because we want it to come out well. So keep making your pleats, keep taking much from the center part and less from the um side part, and then your fan will be coming out gradually. I'm going to work on one side first and then go ahead to work on the other side later. Okay, so with what I have here, I'm going to work. So at this point I noticed that my gele is not as long as it should be. If it was way longer, like if I'm to use the normal 2.5 yards or 3 yards kind of measurement for this for the gele, it would have been very, very easy. But I'm using 2 yards. 2 yards not as big as it should be because it's not the actual measurement or the actual size you use to tie bridal is. Okay, so I'm going to find a way to work on the other part while I work on this part first. As you can see, my fan is coming out gradually. I'm just carefully making my fan, as you can see right here. So you're making your fan, you're picking it out gradually, it's coming out, and when you're done, you can turn to the back and then you drag. Okay, so my fan is properly out there, and then I'm going to turn to the back and then I'll drag. So what do I mean by drag? Because you really want it to be firm, so you put your hand back inside to your pleat and then you drag it inside just so that it will be firm. Mind you, you drag it out so we have space. Now we're going to drag it back inside so it will hold the fan together. Okay, so I'm dragging it. As I'm dragging it, please put your hand to hold your fan, or else it will scatter everything you've done. So carefully drag it inside just so it will be firm. The fan will be firm. Okay, now if you're done with that, you can arrange your fan at the edge and then go over to work on your other end. So for the under end, I'm going to try to reduce the height because it was very high. That's one reason that is making the other end not to get to the end. So I'm going to reduce the height just to bring it down a little bit, and then I'm going to make continue making my pleats. Okay. Now if I'm using my normal measurements, obviously the fan would have gotten to the back, but because it's not the actual measurement, as you can see, it's stopped halfway, almost at here, and it's not supposed to be. But I'm going to just lock and twist at this point. Okay, I'm getting the last pleat. I'm going to use it to hold other pleats together. I'm going to twist to the back, and then I'm going to pin. So the remaining ones I have there, I'm just going to use my pin to secure it. Okay, so that's what I'm just going to show you guys how I'll get it done. But for now, I'm going to turn to the back. The parts that I held down using the paper glue that I twisted, I'm going to pin it down. Then the remaining part that I was not able to hold down using the twisting method, I'm just going to use my pin to secure it down. Okay. So just be sure of your pinning and ensure your pinning is actually very very firm, and you're sure that your pinning is at its right place so that it doesn't scatter or loosen. Okay. Now when I'm done, I'm going to try to turn okay, just so that both end will be equal. So I'm going to just turn it a little bit so the end from both the back should be even. Okay, so carefully I will turn it and arrange the pleats. So arranging the pleats is something that will not be as easy. You don't expect it to be looking so in like what word will I use, looking so arranged like the way normal ashoke would be. Ashoke is easier to arrange than a paper gele or sego. Okay, so but just ensure that the plate is in place, your fan is standing, and then you don't really have much issue. It's only when you're working with normal ashoke that you focus majorly on if the pleats should come together. But if since you're working on paper gele, you can just it doesn't really matter if it's like very very perfect, because it may not be so perfect like that. Having all the lines, all the pleats in place like this, it will not be following suit. But just arrange it the best way you can, and then this is what we have, guys. So you can turn to the back, you can fold the remnant you have, and then you pin it down just so it won't look so rough. Okay, you pin it down, secure it down to your pin, and then that is it. I was actually very surprised that this actually came out nice, because I know for a fact that this is not actually the exact ashoke, or sorry, gele they use for this, because it is not, the length is not the length you used to tie bridal ace, and it still came out nice even though we did some mago on it, but then it still came out nice. So see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.